Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together. Alright,
Yes.
so let's glare at the gesture together.
Like, this is not my kind of romance, but that's okay.
But that's okay. Alright, so Ben
Doesn't
just
have to be.
grabbed us and snugged us in. I'm gonna squish Scandal here. Boink! Yep, there we go. And Joey glares at the squish.
Glares at squish.
And you got Byrne going, Daddy just squished me, and I told him he was killing me, so now you are squishing me again.
Now you're all killing me.
Right.
Ben, she's already dead, though.
It's fine. It cannot kill her. Look, see,
She's squished, already dead.
It's fine.
Joey glares at this gesture.
Yes. What's your relationship with Byrnes, Ben? Huh? What is it? Like, what do you guys have between each other? Huh? I need to know. So, like, how do you like each other? Like, why is he touching you? I gotta know why he's touching you. Like, I just met you again for, like, after, like, years of separation, no contact at all, and you didn't write me back, and just, like,
Throw your chest out at me. Come on.
I need to know. I need to know.
Peacock with me.
It's really important. I just, I'm competitive with him. I need to know. Him being an inch taller than me is really making me insecure. I just can't do it. Alright. What's your relationship with Byrne, Ben?
She's my girlfriend.
Is she?
We
agree to that?
Well, we still haven't agreed to that, actually.
Don't decide yet. Don't answer me now. She's my girlfriend. Don't answer yet.
But now until I force it on you.
Gently over your face and I just be very quiet to do. Byrne is and is that true, Byrne? Is that really what's going on? Like, do you agree with him? Do you think that he says that's really what's going on? Did you say that you were going to be his girlfriend? Oh, play along? Oh my god.
You assume that's a joke?
And it's a premium joke.
You don't even know this. Like, I'm sorry, I've been
We
reading
don't
Byrne.
even know Joey at all, because we haven't seen him or talked to him in any way for 3 years. We don't know who he is right now.
Well, I'm saying, like, Joey's aggressive, and Ben's also been aggressive. This is a terrible, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't kind of scenario, because as far as Byrne knows, Ben is completely serious.
Yeah.
This is not play along with Ben. Ben's clearly joking.
Unless somehow we're so deeply comfortable with Ben and knowing we haven't answered yet that we know he's joking. We haven't spent hardly any time with him on screen, so we, the readers, don't know what our relationship is at all.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
We really don't know. So play along with Ben and take revenge on Joey feels super weird, especially since we don't know what kind of, like, revenge, if any, we would want. Additionally, Byrne just established canonically, with no choice on our part, that she didn't want to start more drama and wanted no revenge on Cindy because of no more drama.
Right?
So it does not fit her character, what they've written for her to play along with it.
This is why I think everybody in the Play Store really called her really petty and almost bitchy.
Yeah.
Like, she really, like, if you pick something like this, that to me, I was like, damn, like, why the fuck would you do this? Especially, like, the game is lying to you, lying to the player. If the player doesn't remember that Ben told you to not decide and don't talk about it and whatever else, and now is the only time you've really ever brought it up, and Byrne's also gone, I don't know if we're dating or not, or whatever else, like, it's really easy to forget the game is lying to you.
The game is misdirecting you. It's being inconsistent with itself. Additionally, again, Byrne has established over and over again that she doesn't want drama. She just wants people to get along. Like, that's not even our headcanons or our ideas.
Yeah.
That's what they've written the character into.
Yeah,
In the same way that we got pigeonholed into a corner with our first character in the Arcana being short, because everyone ever was looking down to them.
Right? And you have literally no choice in regards to how in the world everybody likes to write their characters, which apparently, since they all assume that you're playing women, even though they're like, you can play whatever you want, everybody apparently is the size of me or my friend, and that's it.
They're my good friend who is actually, like, my cousin.
Oh.
They're the size of my cousin.
Oh, how tall?
So my cousin, she is like 4'9".
Okay, because I was gonna go. I could go for my ex-in-law. Okay. Because she was like 4'11", 4'10".
Ex-in-law. Yeah, I think my cousin would even be an inch or two shorter than that.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, she falls in the range of. Legally, if your child is this height, you're still supposed to be in a booster seat.
Which sucks.
In Colorado, because they have requirements for, like, a rear-facing car seat, a forward-facing car seat, and then, like, a booster seat kind of thing. Yeah. And so it used to be based on age, and now it's based on height. So then they're actually accommodating the expectations of the car's build, which is reasonable. I say, so yeah, there's no way we can accept this and play the game they've set up for us, so we're going to have to decline.
Yeah, we're going to have to completely decline. Actually,
Squished close against Ben's side, his arm around you, smiling.
Frightened also of what the hell's going to happen, because we also have been afraid of Ben before, and he's acted like Jonathan, so it's perfectly reasonable.
His other hand on the small of Joey's back.
Boing.
It looks like.
It really does kind of look like that. Good job. Him still hitting on Joey, so
I'm going, I could do both. Both would be fine.
I could do both. Both is good.
They're going, if you guys want to get along with each other, you can both get along with me.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I can be in the middle here.
It's
I like the
fine.
sandwich.
I am a sandwich. Hi. So I'm taking it. That's a no. That looks like a no to me. Looks up at Ben. Yeah, I don't think you're telling the truth. So I think that's a no.
Because Byrne's not a great liar. Okay, she might not be my girlfriend just yet. Oh my god. So it is actually.
And Byrne going.
And they make your character look like an asshole.
If you choose the premium choice.
Yeah.
And if not, that the way she declined wasn't aggressive. She just that wasn't bad at all. But since the narrative of this as a game suggests that you should choose the premium choices because they're better or more special, like an achievement.
Or a fear of missing out, because that's how they like to style themselves, going, you'll miss something. You don't know what you're missing behind the scenes of the lore or the world.
Interestingly enough, I have found that the non-premium choice is often as interesting as the premium choice when I've gone through games and done, both. They just have different appeal, which is really weird to say in some cases because you work really hard for the premium currency, pay your way in there, and you go, it wasn't that much better, or it was just different.
Okay, so we are not at all talking about a specific game that we've been editing like crazy.
Okay, we are completely talking about the Arcana, and that we didn't realize how short some of the paid scenes actually are. So if you haven't seen our Arcana series, 1, it's a riot. 2, be warned, the early episodes are really, really long before we learned to use a timer because we were inexperienced. And the longest one being a 2-hour epic that was amazing and we laughed our butts off.
Which is fine, and also we support you. If you guys liked them that long, I completely support you. It's just trying not to really, throw a lot of people off, because sometimes you don't have 2 hours to just sort of commit.
Every day?
Yeah.
Because we post a lot. Anyway, but we've had to go through to create to be in compliance with the needs of the owner of the game. And so we've had to find the beginning, which of course is labeled by your purchase, and the absolute end of each of these scenes. And it's been really interesting to see when people choose the non-premium choice, so you can see where the 2 scenes line up and come back into the flowchart together.
Right.
And go, that was totally interesting and plenty fine all its own. Or the part of this that I thought was a premium scene was actually at the end of the premium scene was normal stuff I would have gotten anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like so much of it is like 1 or 2 small kisses and a little bit of ooh, and that's it. And that's
Which we actually then ended up discussing a little bit off camera, basically, in this case, of going, what would actually happen if you had a game where it told you basically what each premium scene was going to basically give you. It'd give you an idea of what this one's going to do is do lore, this one's going to do character background, this one's going to do, world background, this one's going to be more romantic-oriented kind of thing.
Because there's a bunch of times where we've chosen premium scenes and they haven't been anything like what we interpreted they would be.
Yes.
And I appreciate that choosing choices, they can say this is, a friendly choice, this is an aggressive choice, this is, a more positive choice. Like some people will code them for whether or not the character will like it.
Which I appreciate.
Depending on the complexity of the game, but just having it be if it's just a locked off premium scene, if you gave people an idea of what it would contain, they could go, oh, this one's going to be smoochy. Wow, that's adorable. I can headcanon my own shit so much. And this one is history and lore. And you're like, I want that so hard. I will buy that.
Right.
That
could be super interesting. It could be a way to do it. Not that I necessarily want to encourage the freemium model anyway, but that is a way to do it if you're going to be doing, I guess, the freemium model that might help give people a little bit more context into what they're buying and help them not so much feel like the fear of missing out. But then again, since the whole model is about, helping people so they survive under the model of capitalism.
Which is why I said it's rough to engage with it anyways, but if you kept that model, I think there are ways to make it more fun and bring in your player more.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so might not be the girlfriend just yet, because, just like Lily is going to be eventually, married to...
I was going to say Luke.
No.
Oh, Blaine?
Because Blaine says I'm her future husband.
Yes.
So he's just saying I'm her future boyfriend.
Yeah.
Just like in Lily's Garden. All right. Just yet.
Just yet. But I'm pretty sure she's going to be mine soon.
Owned by me. Possessed. I would just...
A piece of beef. In my locker.
A designer shirt that I buy.
Oh, look. I put it on. It fits me perfectly.
It is an achievement badge. Ching! You have gotten this. You have unlocked the girlfriend achievement. Ping!
I hate that culture. Anyway.
It's fine then. Well, it's fine. I was like, hey, you seem pretty confident. You seem pretty stuck up, but you seem really sure of yourself. You know what? Like, I think I'd go with her opinion over yours. Really, like,
I am surrounded by assholes.
By assholes, so many
All
of
of
them.
them.
I wish Daddy were here, but I know he's doing his me time.
Daddy is really engaged in his me time right now, and you do not
Daddy.
disturb Daddy with his me time. Daddy, I have been Europe, and I will always love you. Oh, he's looking at himself in the mirror.
Right. Oh, in the mirror.
He's looking at himself in the mirror that's overhanging the bathtub.
Gently pouring essential oils down himself. Imagine me and me. And me and me, the only one for me is me, and me for me, so happy with myself. I can't see me loving nobody but me for all my life. What's about Mommy? Well, I loved her when she was here, but now it's just me, and me for me.
Byrne, I have learned never to interrupt him, because then he goes on for the next 6 hours like a lamb chop song over and over and over again.
And when you
it's
interrupt
really
him,
funny.
he has to start over because, it stresses him out a little bit. So yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
and then
And
eventually we see him.
Fine then, just like, don't let her speak for herself. Just, you talk for her, it's fine, it's just fine.
Byrne, like you.
So let's just go to the movie then. Like all of us, we're just all going to go to the movie. Yeah, so we're just totally chill. Like we're good. You're not dating him. You're not dating me. We'll just all go to the movie together. Totally chill. It's fine. Yeah, we're good.
I don't want to go.
No, you wanted to see this movie. You said you were going.
No.
You said that that was the plan. Even your dad said that was the plan. We all confirmed together. He's here to pick you up for the movie. So here we go to the movie. That's what we're doing.
What do you mean, let's go?
I might think you're cute, but I didn't invite you to the movie.
I did not. It's fine. I don't think you'll like this movie.
Adjusts his hand on the small of his back, going,
It's okay.
It's okay. You're not coming.
You're not coming. It's all right. Joey, I am not yet. Anyway.
Right. Byrne's dad told me I could join you, and since he's master of the house and he owns his daughter right now because she's not owned by any other man, because you're not dating her, I'm not dating her.
God, that's so awful. Fucking hell.
My friend can't
There's
stand my
such like
dark
level.
humor.
No, I'm like, it's so bad, it's funny.
I know.
I'm not saying I can't stand it. I'm just like, I can't believe we're still going there. But we are going there because it's the only place we have left to go. Unlike Byrne.
Byrne has nowhere to go but back to the ownership of Daddy or into the arms of another man.
It's so, I feel horrible for this character.
I'm
like,
sorry,
why are
Byrne.
all of these characters like so messed up in relation to how like everybody seems to perceive them, and then how everybody uses them, and then everybody gets mad at them, going, "You're the one being the asshole here," and it's like you literally have one character being knocked around between other characters.
That is the weird thing, actually. Like thinking about some of Byrne's choices, obviously make her seem a little bit more either petty or vapid or self-centered. Some of the options, but obviously you don't have to choose those options because there's always the other option available.
Right.
I would say, but in the case of this, like I am starting to see a little bit more and more, as I mentioned before, how people could see Byrne as being a shallow or vapid protagonist, simply because the way things are framed, if they're focusing on the men, which the point of this game is to focus on the men. And since you can't self-insert because the protagonist isn't going to act like you, her choices are too wild and out there to just be, they're a little bit too sudden, a little too, like left-right pendulum kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like across the board, if you will, that it's like, she keeps getting in the way of my experience with these guys kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if your focus and attention is on the guys being hot, the guys having emotional experiences, the guys being passionate about you or interesting, then I could see how this protag being like, I don't know what I'm doing, or I just have these very like strong decisions each time, even if they're not assertive, they're very strong polarized choices kind of thing.
Yeah.
From one situation to the next. Not even the two options offered, but from one situation to the next, it's a very strong difference of opinion, such as, oh god, it's probably sending to, I just don't want to engage anymore.
It's a very strong dichotomy, as they might call it.
Well, dichotomy meaning only two, and this is across many choices, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, but then between those choices, though, there's like a strong pendulum effect, swinging from one to
another, and so you get this sort of strong vacillation, and it doesn't create a strong character unless, again, you're taking time to read into your MC and going, what's happened to her and who has she been so far? And the read that we're getting, obviously, is that she's been a really sheltered people pleaser with very little, independent social skills and awareness, and she's extremely, naive in many ways, and that she just really wants things to work out for the best without having any context for what that would look like or how to do it. And so she is being actively shoved around by all these authorities in her life. Even her best friend Kayla shoves her around a bit, of going, I'm really traumatized, I've experienced date rape, and Kayla going, oh my god, you betted a hot guy, good job, that's how you should feel about this, good job.
And that guy may or may not be gone and completely dead, but you never know.
It's possible that, Ben fed him to his car, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Just focus on the fact that you're an arty Hoosier Chorizo fan and hang with me and you betted a hot guy and we're good.
Yep, we're totally fine. And then we're going to go to college and it'll be great. But eventually when we go to college, it may or may not. Who knows?
And so the thing is it's very strange to sort of watch this experience of a girl being pushed around and continually undermined whenever she tries to make any kind of boundary, especially in reference to her physical boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Like really strongly with almost everyone. And then her being read by a bunch of the other players as, being essentially vapid and self-centered. I'm going, she's being shoved into these situations, and you're basically going, it's her fault, I don't like her, she's making dumb choices. And that frustrates me a lot, but that sounds very standard victim-blaming culture, women against women kind of thing. That sounds incredibly familiar, and again, is a pretty dark tone for this game to take. And it sounds weird to me of going so many of these games seem to deal with really dark thematic material. And if I were to write, and the few times I have read, a very lighthearted, playful romance, even when they deal with dark material, it's always way over there. It's not anything to do with the person being abused or harmed or having their autonomy invaded. It's more like the bodies are hitting the floor, there's murders everywhere. It's, you're in Cabot Cove, and Jessica Slasher cannot figure out who the murderer is. And you're just like, people keep dying in my sweet shop, and that's the drama. And so it's dark humor, but your person isn't traumatized by any lack of, again, agency on their own or any abuse directly in their life. And the themes that we keep coming into these games of this kind of undermining choice, and we're just going to be choosing for you and pushing you into situations and undermining your autonomy and your independence kind of thing, and just ignoring your boundaries completely or directly pushing through them, feels such a weird place to focus for a romance for me.
Except for the fact that I feel like nobody, the people who wrote this and also most of the people who are interacting with it don't think of it that way at all. It's basically going from one theoretically hot scenario to another of going, two really hot guys have shown up to basically argue of you, or just be like, God, I'm so hot and I want you so badly. Please don't tell me no. God, I just really desire you so much.
Okay, so I can get that. Conceptually, I can get that, and I appreciate that point of view. But I guess what I'm coming from is, if you string all these events together, it sounds super weird. In a vacuum, you can go, that concept is hot. But once you turn it into here as a character, that feels very different to me. Like if someone goes, what's your fantasy scenario? And you come up with something in 2 seconds, go, oh my God, when the dude just shoves you against the wall and is in your face, it just wants you so bad. The whole hand against the wall thing, right?
Right.
That is a very different scenario than if you have 3 months of background with that person invading your space and doing abusive and or, basically poorly communicated and poor boundaried behavior around your interactions.
Again, tiny little scenario versus long drawn out story. Imagine if it's
no context, lots of context.
Yes.
And
honestly, though, at least for me, even in regards to where people going, I'm going to pick up my really hot scenario, they have context. They just aren't telling you because some of them really just don't think about it. They go, I assume that I'm going to have this really hot guy that I really freaking want, who's going to get on top of me and going to go, I'm going to tell you what to do. And they go, yeah!
Fuck me up.
Yeah, exactly. But the only part they tell you about is getting slammed into a wall. They don't give you the context of the entire background and all the filler detail. They give you this tiny little thing. Whereas, for example, somebody goes, I have a rape fantasy, but they don't fill you in on all the details because they go, well, all that you need to know is this tiny little nugget because I'm summarizing it, right? And we're assuming that you know what this particular fantasy means.
Okay, I can see a lot of that too. And having read a reasonable amount of fanfic in my adult life, I really wasn't exposed to it in my, life as a minor and child. It was, interestingly enough, I almost never ran into it and didn't really know what it was.
Didn't know what was?
Fanfiction.
Oh, right. Yeah, you actually did mention to me where you were like, hey, by the way, Kendall, you're the one that I really was super introduced, to fanfiction through,
And then when I dug into it, I really dug into it for a couple of years, and my friend going, you've read way more fanfiction than me, and I'm like, I really did a 2-year stint of diving into, I will read any fandom that was ever my fandom ever, ever. Anything I ever liked, did anyone ever write anything for this? And then I kind of was mostly over it. Because it kind of was serving a very particular function of just going, what is this? This is interesting. And then going, it was sort of fulfilling a need in some ways of being in sort of an emotional vacuum at that point as well.
Yeah, that's a little bit dark and sad, but
I guess here the primary difference is I can't compartmentalize these into individual hot fantasy scenarios if you have strung them together into a larger big story. There was one fic that I read way back in the day, and unfortunately, I have to say unfortunate now because of current historical context, it was a Harry Potter fic. However, the author was very, very creative in that what they did was they wanted to ship one canon character with another canon character. And I don't think it's important to go into the details. And what they did was they essentially made it so you went into this character's head and had one fantasy scenario of them fantasizing about the other character over and over again. So it was basically a string of those hot, compartmentalized, intense, sex or romance scenes that didn't have any connection to each other except for the one character on screen that kept getting drawn out, that kept coming out of their fantasy later, and then episode 2 they'd have a brand new different fantasy. So they were essentially able to write like 13 different fics that were all strung together by a common character just having fantasies on their own, and it was very, very clever. And also you didn't have any of that weird sort of tension or complications that build up with characters trying to actually get to know each other on screen because they were having singular compartmentalized scenarios over and over again with themselves.
Which is really interesting and really fascinating, and is a good way to actually explore character, by the way. But I've always thought fics like that were always interesting, but I like to basically write character pieces. They're kind of my thing. So
at any rate, so that's sort of where we are right now with this game, and we're gonna just go ahead and plow forward a little bit farther. We had a couple more episodes before we find out if this series is continuing right now or what people think.
Yes, absolutely.
If you haven't seen our poll on this series versus another series versus feedback for our channel, we'd love it if you would check it out.
Yes, and we would love it if you would give us feedback. So please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And please also feel free to share our videos with somebody that you think you might have a good time with, or that you want to laugh with, or just share a point with. Also, at the same time, too, if you want to support us, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. Other than that, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Liz. And it was great playing with you. Bye!